Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Caboose bringing you my very first Hogwarts Legacy video, and you know what? No, this is all wrong. Lumos. And today, what I got for you guys here is going to be my hands-on impressions with Hogwarts Legacy, the kind folks at WB Games brought me out to Los Angeles to get some hands-on with the game. I played about 2 hours, and I want to talk about it with you guys. Before we do so, though, if you've been looking forward to this game, if you can't wait to get your hands on it, it's coming out in just a couple of weeks. Well, I need you to scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, share your excitement with me, and let's get this video here to 1,500 likes for the Hogwarts Legacy hype. I know this is a very different game from what you normally see on this channel, but where my Potterheads at? You know, where my Slytherins at? Comment down below what house you're in. And with that being said, let's jump into this. Okay, so I think it's important to note kind of the way that I got introduced to Harry Potter as a franchise and the way that I got into it. It really only started last year. My girlfriend made me binge all the movies because she loved them as a kid and grew up with them, and I've been hooked ever since. We even went to Universal Studios in Orlando for vacation last year. We bought wands, the whole 9 yards, okay? And to be honest, last year, starting to watch those movies, it's where my hype for this game also began. I should mention, though, that I always thought it looked super interesting, even from its initial reveal, before I'd ever been invested in the franchise. And while now getting my hands on the game, I am pretty thrilled to confirm that this game is the real deal. I'm very confident that this is going to become the definitive immersive experience for any and all Harry Potter fans outside of, you know, the real life thing that you can do, like I said, at Universal. Let's start off with the character creation, because this is going to be a really important thing for a lot of people jumping into the game for the first time. You want to make your character look like yourself, and I will say that for the most part, it's okay. It's not the most in-depth thing in the entire world, but I feel there's enough customization there to be able to create your own unique wizard or witch of Hogwarts, and I wish that I got to see what it was like to be able to choose your own house, but unfortunately that was not part of my hands-on experience with the game. It's not bad though, honestly. Tons of different options there. You can change your hair color, you can change your eye color, you can add some Harry Potter looking glasses there. There's scars that you can even add to your character if you want to make them look a little more Slytherin-like. Some pretty cool options available. But of course, I know one of the most important things that everyone's going to be asking about, that everyone is most excited about, I can imagine, jumping into an open world Harry Potter game, is that open world exploration. And let me just be honest, I mean, it's jaw-dropping to jump on my broom, fly around Hogwarts Castle, then over to a Quidditch pitch, which unfortunately you can't play Quidditch, but you can see the Quidditch pitch, and it is all screen accurate. I only became a Harry Potter fan last year, and I am blown away from what I got to experience. I can only imagine what it's going to be like for people who grew up on Harry Potter, because this is going to be a very special game for you to play. And normally you would think that it's enough to be able to fly around, see the Hogwarts castle, just look at it from the outside and see the world that surrounds it. But Avalanche didn't want to stop there. They took the step, a leap further, and made the entire castle fully explorable. Unfortunately, I didn't have a ton of time to see it all, but what I did see was incredible. It truly felt like I was a kid in a candy store the entire time, seeing all the students of different houses roaming around, looking around for some magical collectibles. It's truly awe-inspiring. I will mention, though, that I noticed a few texture pop-ins. I know the game isn't too far out from its official release, so I'm not sure if this is something that will be totally fixed in time for release, but I hope it's something that's going to be minimized come February 10th. It wasn't happening enough for it to be extremely distracting, but I definitely noticed it a couple of times throughout my gameplay. I also really wish that I got to see what this game was going to look like in the performance mode, as we do know there is going to be a 60 FPS mode for this game, but I wasn't able to try it out. But I mean, with that being said, this is a fairly visually impressive game. At least I don't really have any complaints about the game's fidelity. Hoping there's a photo mode here, because I would have a field day with this game. The character models look fine, the world itself looks beautiful, so for the most part, it's a good looking game. Doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that, doesn't push the boundaries of graphical fidelity in games, but it doesn't look bad by any means. This game, from what I saw, holds up with the current gen console standards for games in terms of how they look. Very interested though to see what that 60 FPS is going to look like on console, and playing this on PC, being able to fly around on my broom around Hogwarts in a buttery 60 to 100 FPS, hell yes. Alright, now, as for the gameplay, specifically the combat or the wand duels, this game is tricky to master in all the best ways. As you progress through this game, you're going to learn and unlock a ton of new spells, all of which are going to help you in either offensive or defensive ways. What's interesting though is the way that you can create several loadouts of spells that you can switch from and, if you're good enough, string together when facing off against your enemies. There's also a counter mechanic that made my inner Batman Arkham fan grin. It seems that WB Games just has a DNA that they like to apply to several games that they publish. And it's interesting because you can tap the counter button to immediately shield yourself and counter the hit that's coming your way, but if you hold the counter button down just as you're about to be attacked, you're going to shield yourself and then stupefy an opponent. It's a very robust combat system, and it's satisfying, it's addicting. And of course, when all else fails, you just simply tap the right trigger to do a quick and easy blast with your wand, though you'll want to learn how to string all these spells together to maximize your damage, and sometimes your foes will have a shield around them that can only be broken with specific kinds of spells. There's a learning curve to the combat, but once you start to understand it, you're going to get really good really quick, but it's just challenging enough to where you won't be able to just walk all over everyone. Some of the spells also allow you the opportunity to approach a combat encounter stealthily, specifically one that turns you invisible. I will say that stealth is fairly bare bones in Hogwarts Legacy, but at least it's there if you want to try and clear a room without being noticed. It's also helpful if you're going to go into a more difficult encounter and want to minimize the damage that you take in before you go wands ablazing. I think all in all, this is going to be a pretty solid game. The only thing that I didn't get to see too much of was the core story of the game, but I'm glad I'll be able to see all of that for the first time when the game fully drops in February. I also didn't get to play around too much with the dark arts, but I'm very intrigued with it. I mean, I'm a Slytherin at the end of the day, but like I said, I want to see how this narrative plays out. It's the one thing that I wish I got to see a little more of, but I'm also glad that I didn't see a lot of as well. Fingers crossed that the story is good, because everything else that I tried was very solid. And there you have it. That's my thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy. I hope you guys enjoyed my hands-on impressions. I am very much looking forward to getting my hands on the full game come February 10th, but now I want to kick it to you guys. Based on everything that we've seen so far for this game, are you looking forward to it? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider hitting that thumbs up button, because if you don't, well then, I don't know what just happened there. I don't want to talk about it ever again, though. But anyways, I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.